Hey, Shalom, Akim Shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakwarash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth, and Shalom to the hopeful elect that's out there listening, learning, and or teaching. Shalom. All right, so we got this word pulled up. It's a term called psychological operation. All right, and PSYOP for short. Okay, what does it mean? I got it pulled up on Wikipedia. All right, it says PSYOP, psychological operations or PSYOP, are operations to convey selected information and indicators to audiences to what? To influence their motives and objective reasoning. Okay? So you giving them the people, right? These media companies are giving the people these different news stories and emotionalizing it and blowing it up and making it more than what it really is in order to do what? To influence the motives and objective reasoning of who? The people. These Babylonians, these Americans, right? And ultimately the behavior of governments, organizations, groups, and large foreign powers. Okay, so we're in the time of massive amounts of PSYOPs, man. There's a lot of PSYOPs going on right now. Okay, and we're gonna go into those PSYOPs. Okay, there's about 3 of them we're going to talk about today. Okay, but I just wanted to bring that word out. Let's actually go into. I'm just going to show you some of them. Y'all already know about this Charlotte train murder. It says graphic video captures random fatal stabbing of young Ukrainian refugee. Right, so there was a so-called white woman, allegedly. Right, she walks into the train. Okay, that's a psyop. Okay, because if you look at the comments on X, you could see, because on YouTube you can't really say certain things, but on X it's uncensored, and all you see is the whole comment section filled with dirty Edomites talking about how, oh, you so-called black people, you're the problem. Look at what they do, these savages, this, that, and the third. Okay, but why are they doing these psyops? So they can continue these operations. What are the operations? They got this ICE immigration, operation, which is really just an excuse to bring the military everywhere and also to come down with great wrath on who? The Northern Kingdom. That's your so-called Hispanics and Native Americans. Okay? And then look what happened here. Donald Trump deploys National Guard to Memphis, calling it a replica of his crackdown on Washington. This happened September 15th, which is today, at 5:27 p.m. That was just what? An hour ago. Roughly an hour ago. All right, it says President Donald Trump on Monday signed an order sending the National Guard into Memphis to combat crime. Right? Crime. Who are they making the face of crime with all these psyops? With all these sob stories. Oh, the poor little white girl got stabbed up. And there's another one that I'm going to show you, this so-called Hispanic, murdered this East Indian, so-called East Indian. Okay? But before we get into that, let's do everything decently and in order. I just want to finish reading this and we'll get into it. It says, he's sending the National Guard into Memphis to combat crime, constituting his latest tests of the limits of presidential power by using military force in American cities. Okay, and why is he sending the National Guard, to Memphis? Well, let's see. Who's in Memphis? Memphis, Tennessee, population by race. What does the AI overview say? In Memphis, Tennessee, the population is predominantly what? Black or African American, making up about 63% of the city's residents. according to the U.S. Census Bureau. So they're after you Jakes, man. All right, they already started the attack on the Northern Kingdom. Okay, now they're going to start coming after the Southern Kingdom with full force. Okay, and why? Because these are the tribes of Israel, man. All right, this is the time of Jacob's trouble that we're coming into. This is what the scriptures prophesied would happen, man. Okay, here's the Southern Kingdom. All right, who's the Southern Kingdom? You Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians. These are the so-called blacks in America. Okay? Why? Because these other nations hate us, man. They hate our people. The whole world is against us, man. Okay? This is the Northern Kingdom. Who's the Northern Kingdom? The so-called Hispanics, Seminole Indians, and North American Indians. You see? These are the people that are being attacked. These are the people that are being portrayed as what? The face of crime, the face of terror. Okay, go on X and watch these two videos I'm about to show you on X and look at the racist ass comment section, man. Acting as if we're the ones who's doing all the murders, man. The so-called white man is the biggest murderer on the planet by far. He's murdered more people than all other races put together. Okay, because see, this devil, he's highly fucking, what's the word? This devil is he's slick. So he'll bring out these statistics and say our people commit mostly violent crime, okay, in these major cities, but who committed the most crime overall? Okay, this devil kills millions of people yearly by the stroke of his pen. By all these policies, like with this policy here, how many so-called Hispanics have been put down? Okay, how many so-called blacks are about to get put down? Innocent, by the way, because they coming after everybody. Don't let this headline fool you. Oh, they cracking down on crime. All right, look at how they treated our people during the time of slavery. All right, look at how they signed all these treaties with the Native American Indians, and they broke every single one of them and lied and cheated their way into power. These are the same fucking people. And we're supposed to believe their statistics? You see, look at Brian Thompson. Okay, he created a whole system to deny people's claims. All right, Brian Thompson, for those of you that don't know, is he's the former CEO of United Healthcare, which is a health insurance company that's supposed to pay for people's surgeries, for people's illnesses to get better. And what this devil would do is he would collect all these premiums from the customers, right? You're paying your insurance, but guess what? When it comes down, push come to shove, they need surgery, they need whatever. He ended up not paying for it. Why? Because he set up this system to deny more claims than any other company. And that's why that dude, Luigi Mangione, put his ass to death in broad daylight. Because dude apparently had back pain and couldn't get it handled or whatever the story was, doesn't matter. Could have been a PSYOP, could have not been, doesn't matter. Okay, the point is, these devils like Trump and all these Edomites, these so-called white people, collectively, through the stroke of their pens, through the power they have, and violent crime, okay, they've killed who knows how many times more people than Jake in the Hood has ever done. Okay? How are you going to sit here and complain and say we're the problem in America, us so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, when you're the fucking leaders, man? Okay? And the elder Malcolm made a great point. He said, how can, it's like a football coach saying, yeah, my team, they all suck, but I'm great. Look at me. That's what these Edomites do. They're in charge. They fuck up their own system and they want to blame us for it, man. Hey, America's had its run. Give it up, man. It's almost over, man. All right, this shit ain't sustainable. But with that being said, man, we're gonna watch these two videos. These are two PSYOPs. Okay, psychological operations to emotionalize and make the people angry and ready to fight. Get them ready for this civil war that's coming up, man. Look at this shit. And by the way, this is fair use. for educational purposes only.
Like it's nothing. And then starts to walk towards the dumpsters. What in the hell was going on in this man's head to literally do the shit that he did? Urdanis Martinez, age 37, admitted to decapitating a 50-year-old man. In a statement, they got into it over a washing machine. Did you just hear that shit? A washing machine.
You see, and they're emotionalizing it. It's the same thing with this thing. Oh, the helpless girl was sitting down, minding her own business, and this so-called black man just attacked her for no reason. Right? Here's the same exact story with the so-called Hispanic. Oh, he was arguing over a washing machine, so he pulled out his machete, chopped old dude's head off, rolled it down the street, and picked it up and just threw it in the dumpster. You know, this is how they make our people the face of crime, man, for what they're about to do. Why? Because they need an excuse for the to justify the amount of so-called blacks and Latinos they're about to kill. They're about to put us to death. A lot of our people are going to die in this up-and-coming crackdowns, man. Innocents, too. Well, like the scriptures say, whoever died being innocent. So if you're not right with Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, you will get caught up in this thing, man. So that's why we bring out these videos day in and day out, to show you that prophecy is speaking, man. All right, but let's go ahead and let it play.
The motel manager lost his life over a washing machine. He's being held with no bond on a capital murder charge. But not only that, he's being held on an immigration hold as well.
Immigration, see? So they could bring up this bullshit. Oh, we need to get these people out of our country. As you can see, man, all right, we not stupid, man. Every story that this devil puts out exposes him further, man. Okay, because of all stories, of all murders, all right, this is what's on the face of the news. Okay, and only attacking Jake, both northern and southern kingdoms. Can't make this shit up, man.
9:30 a.m. But not only that, you can see the machete in his other hand. This man that lost his mind. Deport him, throw the book at him, do something to him. Our thoughts and my prayers go out to that victim who was unalived by this man.
Yeah, and you see that man, if you look into it, there's an article, was a so-called Cuban. All right, which, let's go back to the chart here. So-called Cubans are the tribe of Manasseh. You see? So they are setting our people up as the face of terror. Why? To get these so-called Edomites riled up, cause a civil war. Why? So they could have an excuse to bring all that military out. These devils are about to do something big, man. All right, now let's watch this one. A lot of you may have seen this, may have not have seen this, all right? The same thing, but with a so-called black man. Now let's watch it. Notice how they emotionalize everything, man. They said the last guy cut the dude's head off in front of his family, right? Now they're going to make this into a sob story too. Y'all could just read the articles, but I'm going to let the video play. And notice how they cut the video. Can't trust these videos, man. It's definitely a psyop. Yeah, now notice they said that she got stabbed, and I saw the video that you could find it online where they don't censor it. I think he stabbed him like a couple times, supposedly stabbed her a couple times in the neck or, you know, in the fucking chest or whatever. But look, instead of grabbing her wounds, she just puts her hand to her mouth. Like somebody slapped her. See? Didn't even scream. Oh, dude's like, what the hell just happened? But yeah, as you can see, man, You read the stories, they emotionalize it. They talk about how she had a family, this, that, and the third, yada, yada, yada. Oh, nobody helped her. Look, second comment, I got that white girl doesn't sound random to me. And it's definitely an Edomite, But hey, if a Edomite calls you the N word at your job and they get fired, all these Edomites talk about, well, it's just a word, man. It don't mean it's racist. It's just a word, right? Oh, well, this is just a word. Oh no, I got that white girl. It's not random to me. It was a hate crime. You see, it's a hate crime. They painting Jake as the face of terror. You see, it's a psyop, psychological operation. All right, we've been telling you these devils are gonna crack down on you so-called Hispanics, you so-called blacks. Okay, and now you see it, man. This devil is sending the military to Memphis. This devil just made a new executive order to have ICE go even harder on you tribes. All right, and then there's word that this was a psyop too. All right, they were talking about how, because ultimately they need a reason to come down with great wrath. Okay, and you had all these protesters in Britain, after this dude's death. Okay, a lot of protesters and people saying, oh, it's the left. The left has to be destroyed. They gonna be violent, then we gonna be violent. You see, because they think that a leftist killed this guy, put him to death. It's a fucking psyop, man. Just like this thing that happened in 2001. Okay, they say steel beams were launched so far across the street that they hit buildings like 2-3 blocks away. How's steel beams that weigh tons and tons and tons gonna be launched that far, man? There had to be explosives, man. People talked about there was explosives. They heard loud sound, more than 3 bombs going off. All right, you see? And why'd they do that? Right? To crack down on you people and take more and more of your rights away. And also go over there and commit genocide in the Middle East and steal resources. This is what they do with everything, man. Before they attack a group of people, they make up an excuse and act like, oh, we're the police. We're going to save innocent Ukrainian. We're going to save poor Indian man that got his head chopped off. We're going to go save the people over there in the Middle East from, these different Islamic extremists or whatever the hell they make up, And these devils are being found out, man. The whole world is already talking about how Charlie Kirk's death was an inside job, man. All right? So with that, man, let's go ahead and get into the scriptures real quick. All right? This is 2 Corinthians 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Let's get that word devices real quick. This is G3540.
Strong's G3540. Naima.
A mental perception, thought, and evil purpose. Okay? No, we are not ignorant of Satan's evil purpose. All right? His purpose is to ultimately get everybody on earth to take a chip in their right hand or in their brain in order for them to buy or sell. For what? So he could have complete, total control of the people and put Jake back in hardcore slavery and bondage. You see? That's what these devils want. And so in order to do that, they got to create chaos. In order to do what? Bring order out of chaos. That's one of their evil purposes. That's one of their schemes. All right? This is Psalms chapter 64 and verse 1. Hear my voice, O power, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Who's our enemy? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Right? He's shown himself to be the enemy of our people. All right? Starting with these elite international banking families. All right? These are the upper echelon of Edomites that control the world. Okay? These Rothschilds, Rockefellers. Okay? And they do it through their secret societies. Okay? If you know, you know. All right, they said it took 33 hours to find the killer of Charlie Kirk. Give me a break, man. All right, the Twin Towers were 33 years old when they were destroyed. All right. Um, but yeah, with that, let's get back to the scriptures. It says, verse 2, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. Right, secret counsel, man. These different secret societies get together to do the bidding of what? These elites. Okay, and then these elites get together in their round table meetings. All right, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at them and fear not. You know, they write all these wicked ass laws, man. All right, and they send their minions after our people. You know, they have all the power in the world. All right, it says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Who is the perfect is you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians. We're the only race on earth who received the true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Bible, because the Bible was written by our people for our people through inspiration of Yahweh Ba'ashem Awashai Ba'ashem Rachakorash. That's how it is, man. These other nations have not known our judgments or the scripture. They don't know it. Okay, the book is for us. It's written for one people, man. All right? Yahweh Shai said he came for Israel only. All right? It says they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares. What is a snare? Is a trap. Privily, right? So they lay traps privately. They say, who shall see them, right? Because they doing all this shit behind closed doors, man. They not out here with a physical sword chopping us up or shooting arrows at us. No, by the stroke of their pen, they're putting millions of Israelites to death. All right, look at I'll give you one example. The law on abortion, man. Okay? You know, they allow that shit to happen. Right? How many so-called black so-called black babies die every year from that, man? You know, more black babies die from their mom than they do at the hand of these YNs on the street. Think about that, man. All right, they're shooting in secret. They killing you before you even born, man. You see? The scriptures don't miss. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Let's get that word deep. Okay? H6013.
Strong's H 6013. Amok.
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 And what does it mean? Deep, mysterious, depths. Deep, unsearchable, exceedingly deep. Metaphor, what cannot be sought out. Right? You cannot be sought out. It's like trying to count how many grains of sand are in the ocean or in the beaches. You know? It's impossible, man. It's impossible to know how deep their wickedness goes, man. You know, these devils put all these laws into play, and then they turn around and act surprised when they see these YNs murking each other on the street. Why? Because they created that environment for them, man. You know, you put a bunch of giraffes or elephants or any animal, you put them in a cage and you feed them slop. All right, they're going to act different. They're going to act fucked up. Okay? It's an experiment. You Jakes are an experiment for Esau. That's why, you know, you don't have these organic food stores in your area. All you have is liquor stores, these convenience shops owned by who? These other nations, these Elamites, East Indians, and Arabs, right? The Ishmaelites, you know, because they have this pact with Esau. Psalms 83. Psalms 83 tells you about that pact. These nations are all together against who? Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, and his people. You see? Their heart is deep, which the word heart goes into the word mind, lab, which means mind. So their mind is so deep. You know, they've been strategizing for hundreds of years. These are the same families that have been ruling I don't know how many hundreds and hundreds of years these same families have been coming back generation after generation after generation. They have hundreds and hundreds of years of rulership under their belt against you people. Of course, you people aren't going to figure out everything about their next move, but the scriptures tell us what's going to happen. So that's how we're able to predict these different things. Okay, we know what the end goal is. We don't know exactly how they're going to do it, but we know what the end goal is according to what? The scriptures. All right, this is Psalm 64:7. But the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. And that arrow is talking about the thermonuclear destruction of America. Okay, because once these devils mandate that chip, okay, what's going to happen very shortly thereafter, Yahushua is going to show up with the chariots, the so-called UFOs, and they're going to start shooting their laser beams at this place, setting it on fire, and then all the nuclear arsenal of these different nations, Russia, China, North Korea, all these different nations over in the east are going to shoot their missiles at America. And America's going to turn into a wilderness, man. The whole nation from sea to shining sea. All right, but first is going to be an inferno, man. Okay, that's how the wicked ends, man. They think they're going to achieve immortality, colonize other planets, spreading their wickedness across the cosmos. Is not going to happen, bro. The Lord is going to shoot at them suddenly. The scriptures say when they're about to fill their belly, the Lord will pour the fury of his wrath upon them, roughly paraphrasing. Okay, that's what that's talking about. All right, and verse 8 says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Right? These Edomites, these so-called white people are telling on themselves. Okay, that's why you have all these videos. Like if you go on BitChute, you could look up a documentary called Loose Change, which goes into this PSYOP. All right, and now these so-called white truthers are calling out this PSYOP. Okay, so these so-called white people are telling on themselves. All right, the scriptures are speaking. All right, and all that see them shall flee away. Right, because people are people are scared, man. People know these devils control the world and there's nothing they could do about it. All right, but ultimately it's Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai who controls the world, because even these people are controlled by Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. The Lord Yahweh is the ultimate puppet master. He controls the angels and the demons for his ultimate purpose. All right, and that's a whole nother lesson. All right, but yeah, man, let's go ahead. Let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, of course, the time of Jacob's trouble. All right, this is Jeremiah 30 and verse 4. And these are the words that Yahweh spake concerning who? Israel, and concerning Judah. Very important, like we were talking about earlier. Okay, the 12 tribes of Israel, okay, the kingdom split during the time of King Solomon. All right, those of you that don't know, you got to read the history to understand the mystery. Why is there a southern kingdom, as you can see here, and a northern kingdom, as you can see here? Okay, because these 12 tribes split after Solomon's sin. Okay, and so the Lord, talking to the whole nation, refers to it as two pieces. Judah represents these three tribes. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, because Judah is the head tribe. So Judah represents the Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians. Okay? And Israel is referring to the so-called Hispanics and Native American Indians. Okay? Why? Because, most of our nation is still split. Okay? The only part of us that's together is those of us who are in this truth. All 12 tribes have come back in this truth. All right? But back to the scripture, Jeremiah 30 verse 4, and these are the words that Yahweh spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Right? A sound of fear and not of peace, man. It's not just gang members they throwing in these concentration camps. They throwing family men and women. They throwing innocents. The hell, they even threw American citizens, man, with papers in there. All right? And what they getting ready to do now, hey, you YNs are going to get it, man. All right? So there's going to be fear and trembling among all 12 tribes, man. Northern and Southern Kingdom. All right? Let's get back. Jeremiah 30:5, for thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask you now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Right? Does a man give birth? Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Right? Like when a woman is giving birth and she's screaming in pain, that's how these men are going to be out here very soon. These YNs, these tough guys, you Latin kings, all you different gangsters and even regular guys that just didn't want to repent. You think you're tough? Hey, the Lord's going to make a bitch of you on that day, man. All right, through all these trials and tribulations, all this hell that's going to fall on you, man. It's not really a trial. It's your judgment for you 2/3 niggas and spicks that don't want to repent. That's your judgment. You see? Jeremiah 30:7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Right? So we going into that time of Jacob's trouble, man. Things are about to spice up with both of these operations as these devils come down with great wrath, knowing that they have but a short time, man. Knowing their kingdom is coming to an end. Like the scriptures say, Esau is the end of the world. So Esau represents the end of this wicked ass world, and Jacob represents the beginning of it that follows. What is Jacob? Israel, the 12 tribes. We're going to be ruling in the kingdom of heaven. All right, and it says, but he shall be saved out of it, right? Because during this time of all hell breaking loose, the Lord is going to save his elect. His elect will be protected, man. This is Psalms 91 and verse 1. It says, and the title is accurate, security of the one who trusts in the Lord. Psalms 91 and 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. All right, what is the secret place of the Most High? Is these scriptures. All right, this 100% truth of the scriptures, man. All right, those of us that have the hopeful elect, we're dwelling in these scriptures, man. All right, we're lodging in these scriptures, man. All right. It says we'll abide under the shadow, right? We're going to be under the Lord's protection. Okay, verse 2. I will say of Yahweh, he is my refuge and my fortress, my power. In him will I trust, right? Does not the scripture say the name of the Lord is a strong tower? That's why we tell you Israelites, you got to know the true names. His name is not God and Jesus. His name is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai. All right, and when you call on him, you must call upon Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, which means Yahweh in the name of Yahushai. All right, verse 3. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler. All right, what is this word fowler? Let's get it. H3353.
Strong's H3353. Yakush.
Fowler.
Pesenius lexicon. Yakosh.
A trapper, a bait layer, right? So you could think about somebody that's hunting birds. What do? They got to deceive. They got to use deception, right? They got to lay down these different seeds on the ground next to this cage. As soon as the bird comes and pulls the trap, the cage falls on the bird and traps it. Hey, that's exactly what they doing with you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. This is why they passed these laws so that you could steal from the stores, and it's only a misdemeanor, right? That's why they passed these laws so that open borders during Biden's term. Why? So they could trap you here in America, man, so they could fuck you up. All right? But hey, those of us that are dwelling in these scriptures and his truth, the Lord will protect us from the trapper, the fowler. Who is the fowler? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Right? And from the noisome pestilence. All right? Verse 4. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler, right? His truth, this 100% truth of the scriptures, all right? Dwelling in these scriptures, having faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, calling on the real names, rehearsing these righteous acts, doing what we're supposed to. What's going to happen? He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence, man. All right, which that means, the Lord will deliver the elect from Esau during Jacob's trouble, man. All right, and if the Lord delivers us from Esau during Jacob's trouble, we can rest assured that we're going to see the downfall of our enemy. All right, and that's a beautiful thing to see these devils utterly destroyed, their kingdom and their world going down, and ultimately Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai putting us back on top the way it was supposed to be from the beginning, man. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing, man, because we tired of this world. There ain't nothing here for us. All right, so you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians that haven't repented, go ahead and repent. Come back to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Come back to your true heritage. All right, the Bible is our heritage, man. All right, so with that, I pray this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect. I want to finish by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rachakurash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. Shalom wa abad babal. Shalom.